Welcome to the Success Partner Podcast. I'm Daya Naef, your host and founder of The Success Partner. On this show, we dive into the stories of attorneys, business professionals, and entrepreneurs who have navigated the ups and downs of building successful careers and businesses. From the strategies they've implemented to the challenges they've overcome, we're here to uncover the insights that can help you on your own journey to success. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. Welcome back, everybody, to the Success Partner Podcast. I am your host, Daya Naef, and I'm so excited today to have Shona Bell in the studio with us. Shona is a freedom advocate, and we've been talking a little bit before the conversation, just getting caught up on the various ways that she helps people develop freedom. And I just can't wait for her to share more today. So Shona, will you tell us how you got to be that and what that means?
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to share. So, freedom advocate, I came up with that because my financialist background, I'm a certified public accounting, have a very traditional background in accounting, started and grew my own accounting and tax business that led me to incorporating a coaching advisory component that basically spoke to financial freedom. That's the type of freedom that I'm advocating for. But it brings other types of freedom because once you have financial freedom, you have time freedom. It just kind of opens the door to all the freedoms, right? And so all throughout my entrepreneurial journey, it's, helping people with the things that they need, giving them what they want, but giving them a little more about, okay, how can we then take these financial decisions and savings, not pay taxes, paying them legally, but just minimize what you're paying and go do this type of a strategic move that the very wealthy and rich do. So for years, it was kind of like advising people in that way. And most recently, I'm actually have been licensed and joined a financial firm to not only help them save the money in taxes and do the right things with their finances, but let's go over here and strategically place your money in different places so that you can get in on what the ultra wealthy do. You don't have to be ultra wealthy. Everyone starts somewhere, right? So how do you strategically put your money in places that will grow without risk, guaranteed, protected by the whims of the market? How can you use it multiple times? How can you leave a lasting legacy? What would the Rockefellers do really mean? If anyone's familiar, read that book, what does it really mean and how can you start? So I try to find ways to really break down those concepts in a very simple and understanding way to my clients and anyone else that will listen. So that's a snippet of, what I'm excited to share about. And I'll stop there and see if you have any questions and go from there.
Yeah, that's great. I love how you put it in, it's a holistic perspective. So a lot of times we think about, okay, saving money or investing money or tax strategies and things like that. And it sounds like you're interweaving those aspects for wealth. And then you said something about wealth, like real wealth. And so like, how do you characterize real wealth?
So there's one thing to make a lot of money. It's not hard to make a lot of money. If you grow a skill, you get someone to pay you. You could do it corporate, you could do it business wise, but there's two different ways to do it, right? You make a lot of money and then you grow your lifestyle to require you to make all that money and make even more money because your money has to keep up with the lifestyle that you've created. And then based on how you structured it, you may not even have time to spend all the money, let alone running out of the money because you have to keep up the lifestyle. So in essence, if your tax return or your W-2 says, I'm a 6-figure earner, I'm a 7-figure earner, yet your bottom line is a little sketchy or very light on that bottom line. To me, that's like your top line. Yeah, you make good money, but what does your bottom line say? What do your assets say? What do your investments say? What does your debt say? Versus the real wealthy, where your top line may not even be as big as some of those others, but you're being strategic of where you put your money. You have assets that are growing while you sleep. You have income that's coming to your bank account when you're asleep. You're not just making a lot of money and sending it to the IRS. I meet people that are like, I want to pay a lot and this is crazy. I want to pay a lot in taxes. It makes me feel like I made a lot of money. Sure. You're not my target market.
Let's find another way to show you that you've made.
Yeah, how about we do that? So So I turned the difference in that you can make a lot of money and be very strategic and let that money grow and last and be there and create freedoms for you versus you having to be tied to it or not having enough time to spend it and you don't have any assets working for you while that top line grows.
Yeah, very strategic. And I think we don't realize that. We really do think about the top numbers or the big numbers, and we don't think about, until we need to think about it, until it's like, oh, we want to retire in a couple of years. And then you haven't really thought about it. And it's like, oh, okay, maybe not a couple of years, maybe several years now before I can retire, because we haven't put a plan in place early enough.
Yeah, yeah. And, people, I've talked to a lot of people. I've been in this for many years, and there's something to be said about people that there's money trauma, there's history, there's family, there's generational issues, there's money is emotional. Like I've been in meetings that I felt more like a therapist than like a financial advisor. I get it. And that's taught me how to just be very thoughtful around what people's feelings are, or just be very clear. Like there's no shame in your game. Everyone makes decisions that they do the best that they know how. And unfortunately, there are a lot of communities in our country that they just weren't taught these things. They just didn't have that wealthy person in the family that came before them that like told them all these things. So then you end up in a season of life where you may be a few years out for retirement. And now you're starting to pay attention and you're like, oh my goodness, like, what am I going to do? And I want to encourage people that, should you find yourself there, it's not too late. Like, and then don't fall into that, well, it's too late. I'm just going to have to work until I die, or I'm going to rely on Social Security. Or, I mean, there's no better time than the present just to educate yourself, find a trusted advisor, and just do better. Anyone can do better in anything. You can do better with eating, you can do better with your finances, you can do better with your career. Like just do better if you come to that point where it's like, oh, my goodness.
Yeah. It's like no matter where you are, you can do better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. Like if you started out, you can always sit and go, oh, I should have started before now, or if I'd made this decision versus that decision. But we don't get the do-overs there, but we can always say, hey, you know what, today we want to do this, or we want to make sure that our kids know how to do it better, or our friends know how to do it better, or our employees or our young associates. It's like they're going to get a leg up. They're going to talk to Shona and they're going to get some advice that we didn't get. And now we do feel better for real. Yeah. Share a success story with us.
A success story. Sure. I have one client that came to me well before I got into the financial. What was I doing? I was doing just straight accounting. Um, but she grew in relation. Actually, yes. Okay, she's a good one. She liked me. she she grew in relationship with me. She gained trust. However, she had a CPA. I was doing her accounting, her bookkeeping. This is a while ago, and she had a CPA that, or a tax preparer that was, advising her how to do things. And, I was kind of it, but she's very loyal. She's very loyal. She's like, I've had this lady for this amount of time. She's told me to do this, this, and that. And then all the while I was like, okay, but I don't think that's the right thing to do. Like, but just, giving her space to just make her decisions and just doing what she paid me to do. Then I did some coaching for entrepreneurs. She joined my coaching program. I was still doing her bookkeeping. Then tax season ended. And the thing that I was telling her not to do, that the other person was telling her to do, caused her to have a something thousand tax bill, which she, was, I don't even know the word to say to give you the idea of what she felt. And
I know what I'm feeling hearing that.
so you just can imagine. And so at that point, she humbled herself and said, you know what? I should have listened to you. Tell me what to do. I'm going to listen and all that. So she came on to our tax strategy program and did everything we said to do. She put us in front of every financial decision, which we tell people to do when you're in that program. If you're, full service tax strategy planning, we want you to call us before you make any major financial decision. So she moved into that seat. A year later, not only did she not have a $30,000 tax bill, she got a return of between 10 and 20,000 after like listening to us. And then when we added the financial services side of things, we've had conversations with her and she's grown to do better. And in that area too. She's bought some policies to really help her shape the future for herself. And I know that she's a pillar in her family, and that's trickling down to those other family members. So it took some time, but like I said, we're not pushy. We're just, here to educate, and we love it where the numbers flip to, you're paying the IRS this, you're not investing in that, to IRS is sending you back money, and now you're putting money into assets that will grow, and that you're being an influence to the next generation and the family around you.
That's a beautiful story. Yeah. Do you still have the entrepreneurs group? You still do
So
those?
I do.
Okay.
It's gone through. So I'm also a mom of 3.
Uh-huh. Job number one. That's job number
Number
one.
1. So in that season, and that's a whole nother thing. Moms or women in general, they're naturally the caretakers of family members. So I put a couple things on pause, but I'm in the season where that drive or passion for not only just helping entrepreneurs, but helping women in those areas, especially if you're single, or if you're a single mom, or if you're just a woman that has a husband, and it's just very complicated. So I'm ramping those things back up, so to speak. So if anyone, like, will share my information, you're going to be seeing soon, very soon, how to connect and get back into those things that I was helping her with. That's just going to, start a whole new season of helping women.
That's beautiful. I love that. So how do people find you?
So my website on the financial services side, I'll just give one set of information because I do have the tax strategy and the financial services side. The simple one is Beyond Accounting Tax. Beyond Accounting Tax. No idea why I named it that, but now I know why. Because it was years ago. I named it that, but as you can see now, it's beyond that. So transitioning my brand and everything to include everything, but that is a place. And on Instagram is She's a CPA. She's a CPA. And then LinkedIn, Shona Bell, and any of those places you can find me. And I have a lot of things, exciting things to share, and look forward to staying connected with you and anyone else that's interested.
Absolutely. I love it. Well, thank you, Shona, for being here. And thank you, watchers and listeners of the program. Those connection links will be in the show notes. Really appreciate you being here and watching. And please like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on the Success Partner Podcast. I hope you enjoyed today's conversation and found some valuable takeaways to apply to your own business journey. Remember, this show is brought to you by The Success Partner, where we help small law firms and business owners achieve unparalleled success through strategic guidance, operational excellence, and effective marketing. If you're ready to take your business to the next level, visit thesuccesspartner.net to learn more. Until next time, keep striving for success, and I will see you in the next episode.